Hello, welcome to Breakfast Central. It's Friday, thank God it's Friday. So many things are happening around the world. I'm not in the best of moods because of developments in geopolitics and around the world. They say injustice to one is injustice to all. Yesterday, President Trump constituted the Gaza Peace Board, but it was nothing less than a Gaza genocide overseeing board. It's really, really sad. And they're going to develop luxury real estate properties. His son-in-law, Jared Kushner, is in charge of that, off the back of a genocide on the graves of dead Palestinians. And who is the United States of America to decide how to run Gaza? But I guess it's the new age we're in, where might seems to be right, but hopefully justice will be served one day. I mean, just wanted to get that off my chest.
Oh, I thought it was Which Way Nigeria.
Wow.
I was a bit confused that we have started Which Way Nigeria.
Wow.
But I know that that's a segment where you typically rant about things like that.
But it's just...
I want to ask, at what age did you start...
I mean, as a child, but I want to tell you a story. Do you know I've been watching news since I was in primary school?
I can tell.
I remember CNN partner hotel adverts. I remember Relitsa Veselova, Riz Khan, Shihab Ratansi. Those were the broadcasters. And then when I was in secondary school, my favorite subject was government. And during the general knowledge part, I used to ace it, like get 10-10. There was a running joke in my school that my dad would bring me to school, force me to listen to radio with the king. And that's why I know general knowledge and all these things. But I mean, I'm glad I'm a square peg in a square hole. Or a round peg in a round
What's left now is a political ambition.
I was wondering, like, what do you plan to do with all that political...
No, I think Gbenga should. I think you should run.
I mean, I'll join an international organization like Progressives International.
I mean, you're an ex boy. So I mean, or you want to go back?
No.
That's why
I'll do my advocacy. And I love what I'm doing. I don't know why you guys are forcing me to go somewhere else. Do you have plans?
Yes. We want to replace you with General.
Wow.
So General
I got so fit. So fit.
At my age. Jesus Christ.
What is going on? IShowSpeed, we told you, was in Nigeria. Unfortunately, he's left Nigeria to head to Benin Republic, according to latest reports. But while he was here, a certain young man popularly known as Egungun, who thinks that he's the biggest
lifestyle interviewer
in Africa. I mean, that's what he introduced himself as. And the first question, or one of the questions he asked him is, how old are you? And the guy says, IShowSpeed replies saying he's 21. He's like, wow, and you are fit like this. And everybody's wondering.
And IShowSpeed just lost interest.
A 21-year-old guy.
It was at that moment that he knew
that
he didn't try.
And then he said another thing. He said, so at what age did you start doing, woo, woo, woo? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah,
because
it goes to show you that
typically when he wants to pump himself up, you know, after maybe some daredevil performance, he would make that sound, but in a more dramatic way.
See, like I keep saying,
we need to start.
This guy in my hand makes
it's a library.
Everybody feel like they are. You know, you could be a superstar.
But the irony is, this thing, you could learn so much. You have access to libraries, everything. You can change your life.
But I mean, that's what we get.
Yeah.
That's what we get.
So let's if we were to ask him that same question of when did you start doing woo, how would you rephrase it? I would typically think, so what inspired your branding? As opposed to say, when did you start doing woo?
Or better still, why are you taking a tour across Africa?
What story are you trying to tell?
What are you trying to tell?
Or your journey so far, what has the journey been, what has an experience been like?
Yeah.
And if you were to compare so far, which would you say
I think
has
you
been
guys,
the most exciting country
you've been to...
you're not too intellectual, to be honest.
Yes, too intellectual. What do you expect from somebody that his brand is, please, can you do a 360? Wow, that's massive. Please.
I'm sorry, today is Friday, guys. So because it's Friday, we make it light, okay? So,
but you know, he's achieved his goal.
And again,
at the end of the day, his goal is clout.
No.
Now we're talking about him on TV. On a normal day, would we talk about him on TV?
No, we're talking about it. Let's let viewers know. It's Friday too. Let's help Nigerians realize that You have
school is not
professionals.
scam.
School is not. You have professionals. School is not scam.
You could
and we glorify and
self-develop
celebrate
nonsense and mediocrity.
Unfortunately, the younger generation seem to like it. Entertainment is very fickle in this day and age. For people to break through in the entertainment industry, they like to do daring things. There are people who do rubbish, and then when they come out and they are found out, they said, oh, at least they trended. No publicity is bad publicity. So that's the unfortunate thing.
They think so?
Yes. So they're going with the idea of no publicity is bad publicity, which is why they will do the unthinkable. Lately, we're seeing a lot of interesting things. Even those who now come to rebrand polygamy.
Oh yes,
they make clips.
Names.
No, they call it trouble. You know, and then they make videos and post on social media.
I heard as well. And I'm like, what is going on?
Please, I beg.
There's this Yoruba song that comes to my mind. It's always sung around Christmas period. It's Amono Tetewa, oh Amono Tetewa. It means the way maker. Please come quickly. The world is scattering. The world is bad. Please, Jesus, take the wheel.
I don't know what's going on. You know, but to be honest, like we say on the lighter note, when I went through, there's so many videos, so many renditions.
I'm struggling not to cry.
As in, so many renditions of somebody starting, woo, woo.
And then also Pella chasing after IShowSpeed. I'm big.
I know I'm big, but
Listen,
you know, let's work
collabo.
together.
Listen, we have Gen Zs who watch this program. We know because they send us messages. Some reach out to us and say, hey, that's why we're bringing this story. And we just want to use it to advise them. There is no rule in the book that says you shouldn't build yourself up. You started with a microphone interviewing, in quotes, some people. Use that same medium or time to read, to learn. And for broadcasters, presenters, it is not a scam. We've spent decades. Gbenga has spent years on this job. You have spent years on this job. So it is no coincidence that
I've spent
we do what we do.
Decade
Actually,
plus.
I've reached decade.
You understand?
On the job.
You spent what?
We've spent up to a
singular.
decade on the job.
Decade. More than 10 years now.
Yeah, so we have spent
So
more than 10.
we're
instead of just saying
approaching
years,
decades.
Let's say I've spent decades as opposed to years. Because we
How many
spent
years?
More than 10. About 14 years.
Okay. That's
exactly.
That's massive.
wow. Woo! That's insane, right?
Over 10 years.
Wow. Wow.
So at the end of the
I'm not
day,
feeling
I
old.
think another thing, just to further expand what you were saying.
Yeah.
Yes, social media is all about clout and a lot of no substance content, right? But even in doing the things that seem pretty exciting and seem like clout, you can educate yourself. Let's take for example IShowSpeed. There were reports that for him to educate himself, that even while he's live streaming and he didn't know the meaning of a word, he would go and look it up. He would Google, he would, find out things. We are still learning. Even though we are telling you about decades, we are still learning. Sometimes we also make mistakes and say, okay, I can say this differently, or I've learned a new word. You can't exhaust, you can't say you've learned everything that needs to be learned. You will learn until you die. But the problem is when you have refused to learn and you've made the standard and the yardstick.
And you said you are the best.
And are you receptive to correction, to learning?
But my concern is that all the things we're saying is like water upon a rock, because what they really like is rubbish content. You go on social media.
Then as long as they'll say you can't correct people. Look, in Nigeria, the value system, the number one is money. If you have money, you're immune from everything.
Yes.
At the end of the day, they'll say it has money.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
they'll say, I can't take advice from you, you don't have money. They shame people for not having money. Even the IShowSpeed.
For a country with multi-dimensional poverty, I find it ironical that we are one of the most classist people in the world. It's quite a shame. You know, at the slightest opportunity, you're bringing about class is money. You don't respect people for their values or for the content of their character. Yeah. It's how much this person has, regardless of the source of income. What car does he
wear?
Yeah.
How much does he have? And so on and so forth.
It goes again back to the glorification of wealth, fraudulent, ostentatious living on social media. People don't need to know how you make your money. Just the fact that you have money is enough for them. I remember when relationships, people, unfortunately, Regina Daniels, her marriage has hit the rocks. I'm not celebrating that in any way. I don't really have much thoughts there. But I remember then, because she had a lavish, rich, wealthy lifestyle, there are people who say, I can't take relationship advice from anybody if it's not Regina Daniels. You don't judge what's happening from anybody with anybody's life just by the content that is posted on social media. People choose what they want to post, right? Now, I'm proud of her for fighting for herself. It's unfortunate how things have turned out. The situation with Senator Ned Nwoko, and she's accused him of bullying her. Many people agree with that, but I hope that we can come to that issue can come to an end very soon. But I don't want to be distracted from what I was saying earlier. Let's not glorify the things that don't need to be glorified. It's why sometimes on social media, somebody is made famous and they say, we made the right person famous. We need to make the right people famous again. We need to go
Absolutely.
back to the time where scholars, people who had value to offer were made celebrities, and we're not just excited over people who are just flash and no substance. But it will take a long way to go, because unfortunately,
I mean, in Nigeria, they produced Chinua Achebe,
Yes.
people like Chimamanda, and then...
Yes, I mean, this is the conversation we're having, and I just want to chime in as well that, to be honest, I mean, it's Friday, to be honest, since we've started on this line, let's now take it to our daily conversation. It also trickles down to those you put in power. Because the truth is, in as much as you have sausage roll, you have a material, you have bread, you have gari, and so on, and then you are giving 3-5. You collect it. You don't care the person's moral standing. You don't care if the person is the right person for the job. All you care about is let them just give me what I have to eat. For me, I see it as what happens in the political scene is quite similar to what we see in every Nigerian day life. That's what we see. Because a politician will come tomorrow now. I mean, look at one of the wake-up conversations we plan to have. The FCT minister, former governor of Rivers State, had gone to a television station, particularly Channels TV has that exclusive, and he made so much noise about why will he send his children abroad to go and school and become lawyers when Nigeria has the best law lawyers, Nigeria, best educational system. Lo and behold, just yesterday, his son graduated from the international school after studying law. You see, we have to be mindful, and that also shows that we need to start holding people accountable for what they say. So it trickles down in the entire society, as far as I'm concerned.
Look, my take on this is the people deserve their leaders, and the leaders are a reflection of the people. It's garbage in, garbage
just like
out.
people
Until we have
too.
a critical mass of Nigerians that are upstanding, that have positive value systems, until we change as a people, would only, I mean, it's not magic, there's no rocket science to it, we would only continue to produce the quality of leaders.
I don't have as much hope in terms of seeing that radical and I shouldn't say that, I'm a Christian, we always pray for transformation, right? But sometimes it's concerning, because you think about the values that parents are handing over to their children. This is a country where parents will celebrate a 15-year-old boy bringing back home a Mercedes-Benz. I saw anything like that on social media. As a young girl, if I brought anything home that my parents did not give me, I would have to explain to my mother who gave it to me. So there were certain things that you just couldn't think of doing.
And it starts from the home. Is that the government?
Exactly. So we can't put everything at the feet of the government. Yes, we agree that the government fails in upholding certain standards, but individuals as well. It is the individuals that the society has that go into government. What goals and values are parents putting? What are we as a society celebrating? In our music videos, what kind of life are we celebrating? And I say we, because all of us are guilty of it in one way or the other. When we glorify ostentatious living and wealth, when you don't ask questions. But anyway, today is not about all of that. It's a Friday, and we just thought it was an important conversation for us to start with, to get us thinking about what truly matters to us as a people, and how best we can, have a reorientation of the mind. I'm very, very, very big on value and value systems. Anyway, let's get into our next story, even though that wasn't a major story. Nigeria's security challenges have returned to the global spotlight after US President Donald Trump claimed that American forces are annihilating terrorists responsible for the killing of Christians in the country, citing US strikes, including reported operations on December 25th against militant camps in northwestern Nigeria. Now, in response, Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Toga, speaking on CNN on Tuesday, acknowledged the scale of insecurity facing the country, but said that the situation is complex and driven by terrorism, banditry, and regional instability. While insisting the federal government is working to address it, his comments have triggered fresh reactions at home, with critics questioning why officials of the government are defending Nigeria's security record on international platforms rather than clearly outlining tangible gains on the ground as public pressure mounts on the Tinubu administration to demonstrate measurable progress in restoring safety and stability. Let's take a look at the video and then we'll come back to share some thoughts.
And in Nigeria, we're annihilating terrorists who are killing Christians. We've hit them very hard. They've killed thousands and thousands of Christians. What's that all about?
From the conflict in the Sahel, it's not removed from what happened in Libya many years ago. It's not removed from the proliferation of weaponry, of fighters, and the climate change issues, and so many other complex issues. So it's important to look at it holistically and come up with a lasting solution, and that's what we're trying to do. And I think with regards to narratives, it's also important to see Nigeria for what it is, a very diverse country that actually has not fared badly compared to countries that are more homogeneous. That we have.
Well, there you have it, the video. Donald Trump talking there, highlighting the success, as it were, saying that they are indeed ensuring that they are clearing off the terrorists. And then, of course, our very own minister speaking on CNN and talking about the seemingly challenges that Nigeria faces. But let's see what Nigerians are saying concerning the statements that have been made, especially on X, as we run through this particular story on a Friday morning. Let's see what they're saying very quickly. This tweet says, from Man of the World. Oh, really? Sir, real Donald Trump. And he goes on to tag him and says, Nigeria is not
It tags him and tags his first son.
Said Nigeria is not at peace. People live in fear, unable to travel or stay home safely. While politicians focus on the 2027 elections, the people are suffering, we are waiting, sir. Imagine, anyway. Omo Ibu says, hope the screwdriver seller didn't mislead President Trump. We're not going to hear the last of this screwdriver.
New York Times.
And someone else says it. Living for Christ says, this screwdriver seller won't rest happy. Cho again. Forgive him, sir. He's just an ordinary seller. Ordinary screwdriver seller. That's what he says. Mazi Okwama says, even after all the $9 million they paid to cover it up, I be lobbying firms don't follow lobby vamoose. I tire. Stephen Wachuku says, very good. I can smell Valentine's Day hamper packs loading for the terrorists and kidnappers. Wow. I only wish it is Uncle Benji that will make the Valentine's Day delivery. Yeah, we have to read it like that sometimes to capture the discussion. Anyway, Save Nigeria Christians says, for years, Christians in Nigeria have been slaughtered while the world looked away. Villages wiped out, worshippers killed, zero accountability. At least the persecution of Christians is finally being acknowledged globally. Recognition is the first step toward justice. He gives credit to Donald Trump administration and the U.S. Department of Defense, and also for amplifying what Nigerians have been screaming for years. Well, just a point of correction for Save Nigerian Christians. I mean, I know you're focused on the Christians, but not only Christians have been killed, and we have maintained that same statement here on the program. How does climate change matter coming to the kidnapping of 170 church worshippers in Kaduna State? The incompetence has traveled abroad for the whole world to see. He is reacting to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's statement.
But I think it's unfair to say incompetence has traveled abroad. In his interview, in the foreign minister's interview with CNN, Foreign Minister Yusuf Maitama-Tuga, he was given a backdrop as to what is responsible, as to what is responsible for the insecurity we're witnessing today. He also spoke about the blowback as a result of the removal of Muammar Gaddafi in Libya, which has led to the proliferation of arms and, of course, fighters from North Africa down to the Sahel. And also the climate change, which is responsible. You have people fighting for more arable land, and it's also a factor to be considered. So he didn't say that they're not doing anything about insecurity. Maybe their efforts are not enough. That's open for debate, but to say it's incompetent, I would disagree.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's a story we would continue to talk about whether we like it or not. Insecurity is now a constant K. Reminds me of when we were in school. You could use all the formula. There's always a constant K.
I didn't like maths.
Sadly, in Nigeria, I mean, I did further maths, and I remember that they always tell you you have a constant K. Sadly, in Nigeria, insecurity is a constant K, and we've been battling this for years. But let's move on to another story this time. Reactions are trailing a fresh wave of controversy surrounding the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, after reports and images emerged, of course, videos as well, footage showing the graduation of his son from King's College in the United Kingdom, reigniting debates over elite schooling abroad. The backlash is fueled by a resurfaced viral video in which the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, while serving as Rivers State Governor, openly criticized Nigerian leaders who send their children to foreign schools, urging them instead to invest in and trust the country's education system. The resurfacing of that video alongside the graduation images has sparked widespread discussion on social media since they emerged, placing focus on leadership messaging and personal choices by public officials. As of the time of this report, the minister has not indeed said anything. But like I did mention earlier on, this was an interview that was had on Channels Television. And this is some of the things that he said, especially while he was there some years ago during the interview.
Yeah, it was, on an interview in another TV station in Channels. Okay. All right.
Abroad. What we said in our own case, listen, why do I have to send somebody who wants to study English overseas? Why do I want to send someone who wants to study economics overseas? Why do I want to send someone who wants to read law overseas? When you know that we have very good faculties in these areas, in Nigerian universities. Now, we thought if I'm sending you overseas, must be on peculiar, very clear areas that we lack, that we want our people to go and study. Maybe some areas of engineering, maybe some areas of medicine, maybe some areas of agriculture, maybe some areas of ICT.
Wow.
When he made that video, I'm sure his son was in primary school, and he wasn't thinking about the nearest future. He didn't know that he would have to eat his words or reverse his statement.
Oh,
and
he changed his mind. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
People are allowed to change their mind.
Your mind.
You know.
Or maybe the quality of education then
was
when
much
he was
better.
speaking was
And
much better.
With
And then when his
consistent
boy
strikes.
became an adult and he saw the consistent ASU strike, he said, no, he has to go to King's College in London, which is one of the top universities in the UK.
Okay, but the thing is, when you hear statements like this, a number of times, believe politicians at your own peril.
What does our caller say?
The politicians are shocked that we
The
believe
politicians
them.
are shocked. Yeah,
Yeah, that will
believe
believe
us.
them. Yeah, believe them at your own peril. They will say whatever that needs to be said because they want to curry favor from the public. They want to get Ghana influence.
They want your vote.
But at the end of the day, politicians will still
And
do what
it's
they
not
have to
unique to Nigeria, it's all over the world.
Yeah.
Exactly,
There
it's
are
not
members
a-
of President Trump's cabinet, even his vice president, J.D. Vance, if they play videos of what he said about Trump just a few years ago, Marco Rubio,
Yeah, I
his
saw that on
foreign
Marco Rubio
secretary,
recently.
his secretary of state, is the minister of the secretary of and other officials.
You
So
are going too far.
politicians
Let's
are-
talk about Nigeria
talk about
now.
Nigeria
What of
now.
those who are serving
okay,
on President
the
Renos, the
Bolas,
people who
so-
criticize President Bola Tinubu thoroughly, but now they're serving in some capacity. In his
Gbenga, you see
cabinet.
why I
So-
said it also affects our value system.
Yeah, because you are not consistent. You don't have values. Today you say this, tomorrow you're saying that. How are people supposed to be?
While I agree with you, what happens when we look at the fact that people change their minds?
No,
I can have a
not
position.
at that level.
I can have a
Look
position
at the
today,
Nigerian
and in another
examples
5 years, I
that you
change my
mentioned.
mind.
Olive,
No, those ones are.
Olive,
man.
I agree with you, but when a particular person has been doing it consistently, then there's a problem.
I mean, and it goes to
You know,
say that we have a president that is very forgiving. I must say, he's the father of the nation. Because me, I won't forgive you. Every day I just look at that video now.
Okay, let's quickly see what Nigerians are saying about this on X. And feel free to share your thoughts. We're streaming live on YouTube via News Central TV Live. And we'll see if we can take a few comments from YouTube. But on X, Oris Money says there is always a Wike video to counter himself. What a double-mouthed man. Oris Money. Then this one says his son studied a specialized course that Rivers State University doesn't even offer. So, of course, he had to send him abroad. But I've learned something from all this. Whenever Wike says good morning, it's wise to look out the window because it might already be afternoon.
Which specialized
Stride
Networks
said.
Assistant Larry Olayinka.
I'm not a fan of Wike. I lived with him through and through as a public administrator in Rivers State,
really?
starting as the vice chairman to Woke Koro in Mile 3 Park to when he became local government chairman, and now he's a minister. He was a total failure in governance. The only thing he liked is aesthetics. Aside from that, Wike has no business in governance. He stopped all the children studying abroad on scholarship in Rivers. Now look at him sending all his children to schools overseas up to master's level. Wike has done his part as a politician, and I respect him for that. When it comes to politics, he knows it to his fingertips. Foundationally, Jeshaman says. Our next tweet this morning. First, the son didn't have any master in any of the courses he mentioned. Secondly, even if it's believed that it's private funds, why should government use money that belongs to us to sponsor someone abroad to study a course that can be studied in Nigeria? Nijoka Olawale asks. And do we have more tweets? He talks too much and forgets all he ever said in the past. How can someone trust such a person? ST says. And let's wait for Wike's next media chat. He should talk about this hypocrisy. Tinubu will also hear water from Wike during his next media briefing for supporting Fubra, Tunde Alobe says. And then on YouTube, Olanitan Ishola, first of all, good morning. Special good morning to our YouTube audience. Thank you for always joining us, and your comments are always very welcome. Olanitan Ishola says, Olaitan Ishola, I beg your pardon, says, Wike only condemns what has not gotten to him. But when he gets that thing, he will gladly forget his previous position. What a hypocrite. Lenny Nekwere says, to me, Wike doesn't want any discuss. Yes, this is someone that doesn't keep to his word. Remember what he once said about APC. He's not someone anyone can trust, a double-mouthed man. If you recall also, when during his Thanksgiving, when he was being asked, there was a Thanksgiving, I don't know if it was his, but he was being asked if he would intermeddle in the affairs of Rivers State. And it was clear to say that, no, he's not. Once he's done, his time is done. We saw a complete different reality. 360. When he became minister and saw that Siminalayi Fubara was taking charge of his political structure in Rivers State.